guys, welcome to my first video. So in this series we're going to be doing Python basics. So you're going to be learning the basics after this series. So the first thing you should do is you should go to python.com or python.org, and you can just do this, search Python in your browser, and you can just click this. Should be like the first thing that pops up, and you can just click downloads. And this tutorial will be where you can use this tutorial for Linux, Mac, and Windows. So if you have any of those operating systems installed, it's going to be fine. You'll be able to follow this tutorial with no problem. If you have Chrome OS, you might have a little trouble. I don't even actually know if you can get Python on Chrome OS, but yeah. So just download this. I'm going to be using 3.9.1, and it should be compatible with everything we're going to be doing in this Python basics tutorial. And if you have Python 2 installed, try to upgrade it, because if you're going to try to follow this tutorial with Python 2, it's not going to work. Okay, so next thing you'll need is, this is optional. You can get any code editor, but to follow along completely, I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. It might be different in something like PyCharm and everything, but I'm just going to be using Visual Studio Code. So download that if you want to, and if you don't have an editor to follow along. So next up, we can just get right into coding. And also, when you download everything, just keep them on default settings, don't change anything. Okay, now we're going to get right into coding. So over here, you can see I just created sorry about that, but I created a file, and just go to this tab on the bottom. You're not going to have all these tabs. Maybe some of them you do, but not all of them, because I have more extensions installed. But just try to find like something that looks similar to this and search Python on it, and it should be the first extension. This is just going to help you debug Python, and it's just going to help you overall just write code faster. So just install that. After that's installed, I'm also going to show you another package I have, but it's called material icon theme. So right here. So, oh wait, not this. It's this one. So this is what I use for my icons. You really don't. This is optional. This just makes the icons look better. You can just use the default icons, but I just use this. So by the way, the links to all these extensions will be in the description, and also the links to the downloads, and the links to the downloads for Visual Studio Code and Python will be in the description too. So let's get right back into coding. So after you install them, just wait until they're installed, and then I'm gonna delete all of this actually. Sorry. So if you right click and click delete, it's gonna delete them. So to make a new folder, you click this. So for my purpose, oh wait, before I show you that, to open a folder, you click file and open a folder to get started coding. If you're using Windows, you can code anywhere. You don't have to code in the Python directory. I'm not sure about Mac or Linux, but I'm pretty sure you can code there anywhere too, because the system would understand a .py extension. So either way, I'm going to create a new folder and a file. Even if you don't create a new folder, it's going to be the same process for you, but just for organization, I'll create a new folder. Python, that's going to be my name. And I'm going to create a new file inside that folder called hello world.py. And this would basically be an Hello World application. Now, anytime you're learning a new language, I really recommend you start off with a Hello World application. It's gonna help you a lot rather than just starting off with a bunch of projects. So we're gonna start off with a Hello World application. So the first thing I'm gonna show you, and one of the easiest things to understand, is a print statement. So as you can see, it already searched up, and I already got it over here. And so if I click that, or I can just type it out, it's the same thing. And then I put parentheses, and then I put quotation. I can either do these or these, or these. Or these. It doesn't matter for now, but later on in Python, it might matter. So I'm just gonna show you some quick print statements. So we can just write hello world. Okay, and if you have the Python extension installed, you should see this pop up. And also, if you don't, and you should also see this. So if you don't have after you installed Python, you have to do this, because or else it's not gonna run properly. Just choose your Python interpreter. If it doesn't show here, I'm gonna link a video in the description how to fix that, or tear it, whatever. And I'm just gonna be using 3.9 for this. I have a bunch more installed, but 3.9 would be best because that's the one that's out right now currently. So I'm just gonna do that. So you might see this .vs code thing folder pop up. It's really not that important, so you can delete it, you can keep it, it doesn't do anything. So then, after I do this, I can just click the run button. Okay. And it just prints hello world. Now, if you're getting errors on this, to make sure you don't have Python 2, because in Python 2, if you're gonna do it, you have to do this, and then you would do this, and then you would do whatever you want to print. So yeah. So just to follow along fully, just use Python 3. It's gonna be best for you. And another print statement you can write is something like this. So you do 1, 2, 3, and then you do 1, 2, 3. So when you do this, you put 3 up here and 3 down here. So now it's gonna display how you do it. So let's say list, okay? List. Then I would do 1, upload this video. 2, make a new video, okay? Just for testing purposes, I'm gonna make this really short, but this can be as long as you want it to be. So if I print this out now, it's gonna do this. And if I do a normal print statement, so Control A and backspace would literally just highlight everything in your page. Backspace would just delete it. So now if I just do a normal print statement, let's say this, like I just do my list, and I do colon, and then if I can't do that, so the only option I have is to do something like this and upload this video. And if I do this, it's gonna print out in like this form. And another option you can do is you can just put a /n, but I just like it neater, like with this way. 1, 2, 3. I just like it way neater this way, because it just makes it much more organized and better for me to read the code. So I might do this now and then in the tutorial for multiple lines of code, but mostly I'm going to use the other way I just showed you. So I'm going to keep this up actually, and I'm just going to put an F around this. 3.6, Python 3.6 or over has this. Anything under Python 3.6 does it. So make sure you have something over Python 3.6 too. And I'm just going to set a number equal to 690, a string equal to hello world, and then a float underscore number. So float is actually a keyword. Float, int, and str are keywords, like str, float, float, and int are keywords, so I don't recommend using those as your variable names. There are many other keywords, but those are the type keywords. There are a couple of them. And the flow, just put like 90.39 something. And now what I can do, you can also do this in the other, I'll show you an example in the other way to write print statements, but I can just do like what string, I want to print string, and then I can do number, and then this is going to print the number. I can just do these and number. So basically, I'm putting Python inside of a print statement. So like I can even do something like this. So number plus I can do number plus float num underscore num, and then I can just make this a float. So now it's gonna print float. Boom. Okay. So now it's gonna print a number plus the float number. So 90.39 plus 90, which would get 180.39. So you can do that, or you can just put like variable names like I did here. So if I run this, see it says 180.39 and it's a number. So you can run Python inside of these curly braces, but for now, I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to write variable names. So like float underscore num, and wait, I should probably put number, and then float colon float underscore num. I got my curly braces. Float underscore num. So if I run this, I should print all three of them. Hello world number 90, 90, and 39. Yeah. So those are kind of like the very basics. And I'm also going to show you an example with the other print statements. So let me just do this. Print and 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And if you see like this highlighted in and by the way, your syntax is not gonna, like your colors and your theme is not gonna be the same as mine. I'm also gonna put a link to my theme in the description, and from that theme I'm using the adaptive. So yeah, so it's if 1, 2, 3. If you're getting any errors on this print statement, just make sure you're not putting like 5 or 4. You have to put 6, like 3 for the end, 3 for the beginning. So let me just, oh yeah, I forgot to put F over there. F strings also work in this. So I can just put number, colon, space, number. And then I can put a comma. And then a float, colon, space, float num, float underscore num. And then I can put a string, colon, space, string. Okay. Just gonna put these are print statements, so commas don't really matter, but I just like putting them. So if I print this right now, it's still gonna print the same thing, but like in a more ordered way and a more readable way. So yeah. And also Python, you can't like do something like you don't do something like float num like in some other languages. You would do float num, and then it would be a float, and then that would be equal to like a float. In Python, there's only 3 types. There's a float, there's an int, and there's a string. Or these are the main 3 types. So there's no like int 64 and int 32. So your int can be as long as you want, right? That's the thing I like about Python. I like how they don't have like these types are not that direct, and they're very indirect. Like your string can be as long as you want it to be, your int can be as long as you want it to be, so can your float be as long as you want it to be. That's the thing I love about Python. That's why I use it as my main language. Okay, after this, I'm gonna show you one quick thing, and if you're confused on this part, I'm gonna explain it in later videos. Very detailed, but we have a bit of time left. I can just explain it. So this is an if statement, and this is like one of the most important basics. Without ifs, you can do almost nothing. Actually, before ifs, I'm gonna show you a function real quick. This is not gonna go too in depth on the function, so you would do define, and then function your name. So I'll just put, what should I put it? Maybe I should do basics, Python basics, and if I want any arguments, I can put arguments, but for this, I'm just not gonna do it. In later episodes, I'm gonna teach you more in-depth stuff on functions. So, and if I do this, I can just do print, and then I can do basic function. Okay, and now if I just call basic, right, like that, and I can just play this. and it just prints basic function because I called it out. So that's all for the first video of your Hello World application. Next video, I'm thinking about getting into variables more and the if statements. So be ready for that.